Hey, good evening. What do you get when you mix one of the prettiest regions in the state of Washington with one of the prettiest lakes that have some of the most amazing vineyards with a somewhat sordid history between miners and ladies of the night? Well, you get a winery called Hard Row to Hoe. And tonight we're going to go ahead and discuss their 2018 dry Riesling. Is it dry? Is it a good Riesling? Stay tuned. Hey, you've tuned into the Rookie Wine and Whiskey Enthusiast channel, YouTube's primary channel for discussing Pacific Northwest wines and spirits, but not exclusively. And tonight what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to dive right in to a Riesling, which is one of those varietals. It's supposed to be sweet, it's supposed to be dry. You can get them a little off dry, but I prefer mine highly acidic, highly dry. Anyways, before you jump right into that, if you do like this type of content, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up button on it. If you like my channel, please do me a favor and go ahead and subscribe to it. When you do hit the subscribe button, a little bell icon is going to pop up. When you hit that bell icon, go ahead and click on that. Make sure you select all and not personalized. That way when I do upload content, you are one of the first to be notified. I'm getting up there in subscribers, slowly but surely, and I'd love to have you guys along for the ride. So that being said, Hard Row to Hoe. Back in September, my wife and I decided to take an overnight trip into Chelan, Lake Chelan area. It's been an area of interest to my wife and I for the last several years, but we've just never been able to get our hands, time off to get up there. They've got some really highly regarded wineries. As a matter of fact, over the next several weeks, I'm going to be discussing some of those wineries that are up there, one of which my wife and I decided to go ahead and become club members to. The problem with the Lake Chelan area is also the playground of the very rich and wealthy for the Seattle area. So on the weekends, that place is crowded. And my wife and I went over on Labor Day weekend for her birthday. So anyways, that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into Hard Row to Hoe. This was one of the first wineries my wife and I decided to explore when we got up there. We had heard that they had had a good story, that they had some really good Rieslings. And my wife and I this year really wanted to focus in on certain grape varietals. Rieslings was one of those. The winemakers, I'm going to go ahead, the owners are Judy and Don Felt. I'm going to read right here off my iPad, that way I don't screw anything up here. Judy is the primary winemaker, and they do have two assistant winemakers. Their names are Julian Shaber and Clint Hepper. They also have a good staff up there. Anyways, the reason for the name Hard Row to Hoe is they're just slightly north of Chelan in a little town called Mason, and where they're located at is just up the hill from the lake, where there used to be a landing that had somebody who had a boat, and he had a brothel, and he would service the miners over at the mining camp across the lake. I think that was a great story. Whether or not it's completely true or not, I don't know, but you have to go up to them and find out. So anyways, this is their 2018 dry Riesling. I'm going to go ahead and use my Wine Folly color card. This is a medium straw. It is extremely clear, bright, lots of light coming through that. Let's go ahead and get on the nose, shall we? This is a relatively intense wine on the nose. I don't have to get my nose right down into it. Now I've had this poured in my glass for about 10 minutes. The intensity is still there. I'm getting some pear. Nice yellow pear. There's a little bit of a petroleum note. It comes across as like that new car smell, that vinyl smell. There's some golden apple in there. Boy, this is... There's also a little bit of honeydew melon. And there's a slight hint of kind of a secondary note of an herbal note, almost like a young basil. Oh boy, I love the nose on this. When my wife and I first tasted this up at their winery, it was a beautiful weekend up there over the Labor Day weekend. It was probably in the 70s or 80s. And this was now this is at room temperature. I did not chill this. I do prefer my Rieslings a little bit warmer than chilled. Normally you want the white wines chilled. I do like my my Rieslings a little bit warmer than that. Call me weird. All right, let's go ahead and have a sip, shall we? Okay. This is a very light-bodied wine. Almost no tannins, obviously. But the acidity. I'm getting a lemon zest, lemon peel kind of tang to the acidity. It's very coating on the mouth. I'm going to say this is a medium plus acidity, almost high. This is not a sweet a Riesling either. This is a dry Riesling. It's very palate cleansing. That honeydew melon comes through with the lemon zest. By the way, that's funny, I didn't get the lemon zest on the nose at all. But that pear and golden apple, I would say the length on this is around medium to almost medium plus. I'm still, probably 30 seconds in since I took my sip. I'm still tasting that pear and lemon, especially down the sides of my tongue. This is a very, very good Riesling. And if you are tired of those overly sweet Rieslings, this Riesling right here, I am going to buy this one again. This is by far one of the best Rieslings I've had in the entire state. Now I do have one that I'm planning on reviewing probably after my Wine of the Year video sometime towards the week of Christmas. But this one here is definitely one of the top whites I've had all year long. Boy, I gotta have another sip of this. And I'm still, you know what, I'm gonna change the finish on this. This is a relatively long finish. It's a very savory white Riesling, a very savory Riesling. Let's go ahead and have another sip of this. There's a slight hint of a minerality as well, but it's ever so slight. Boy, I can't say enough good things about this Riesling. Matter of fact, I will say, when my wife and I were up there, now I do have their dessert wine, their port style wine, which is really good as well. But out of all the wines that my wife and I had up at Hard Road to Hoe, this Riesling stood out far above everything that they had. I mean, they did have some other good wines, and my wife and I came back with almost a full case of their wines, not just the Riesling, but they had several other wines as well. But this one right here for me, it was my favorite of this particular vineyard. So, anyways, if you guys, like I said before, if you like this content, please let me know down in the comments below. Have you had Hard Road to Hoe? Do you like their Riesling? Is this the type of Riesling that you guys think that you would be interested in pursuing? Like I said, for me, I love my Rieslings dry, and I love them acidic, very acidic. So let me know down in the comments down below. Is there another Washington State or Portland or even Idaho Riesling that you guys want me to go ahead and find and take a look at. Let me know in those comments down below as well. Anyways, folks, as always, life is too short for either bad wine or bad whiskey. This is another great Riesling. Cheers, everybody. The flavor lingers.